Today we've got 3 meals to help you kickstart your new year. Hey guys, Happy New Year. Sydney here and welcome back to At the Table. So it is a new year. You probably have goals for this year that you want to achieve. And I've seen a lot of people posting on social media about different goals that they have for the new year. Big one that I have seen, of course, is going to be around losing weight, trying to be more active, living healthier in general. So I thought it'd be great to come on here today and really talk about what makes a good diet. How do we know if a diet is something that we should actually try that will be sustainable for a long period of time? And what are the different components of a healthy diet? There are lots and lots of misinformation. I saw one person specifically post about wanting to lose weight and feeling stressed and all these things. And there was just so many different suggestions in the comments about you should try this diet or this detox or this, pill. And it can just be very, very confusing. So we're going to dive into that today. And how we're going to do that is we're going to actually make 3 meals today, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And they're all going to be quick, simple, easy things that you could make, because that is part of the struggle with starting to eat healthier. Is we don't want to have to put too much time into cooking in the first place, and now we're trying to just do a whole new diet, do something completely new, and it just can be kind of hard. So what we're going to start with today is a smoothie bowl. Of course, you could just do a basic smoothie and have that as breakfast, but the things that we're going to put in that smoothie are really what are going to make the perfect breakfast for you, because we want to have something that will fill us up, provide a little bit of protein, give us some vegetables and nutrients that will really kickstart our day. So this is from our Cooking Essentials program. This recipe is. So whenever we had Miss Catherine Hill come on, that was the program that we were talking about, was this Cooking Essentials. So we will go ahead and get started with what we're going to throw in that. First thing I'm going to add is some yogurt. So this is a non-fat plain Greek yogurt. You could definitely do we really want to stay more away from the vanilla yogurt because it's got a lot of extra added sugar. But you could definitely do like plain yogurt if you wanted to, instead of the Greek yogurt. Some people just really don't like the flavor of that. The Greek yogurt, however, does give you extra protein. And when we're talking about breakfast, protein is very important to have, because it is the building blocks. It is what helps to kind of get us started, get us going for the day. So that gives us a little bit of protein. It's not just all a fruit smoothie with no other nutrients. So next thing I'm going to add is a frozen banana. Honestly, my banana is not as frozen as I would like for it to be. Forgot to stick it in the freezer yesterday, but I do keep these on hand. So if you ever have bananas that start to get really, really ripe and then they're on the verge of mushy and not going to taste good, go ahead, peel it, throw it in a bag just as I did, and put it in your freezer. And these are great for smoothies. I usually break them in half because sometimes I only want to use half a banana instead of a whole banana, but you got some flexibility there. Next thing we're going to add are some oats. Now, our recipe calls for quick oats. I never buy quick oats because really old-fashioned is going to be the one that I use the most in cooking, the most for breakfast, because they are a little bit less processed and they're not gonna kind of cook down as much as quick oats will. But oats are really good to add just simply for fiber. You also get a little bit of protein in there too, but we're getting some good fiber with those oats. Now, if you don't like the texture of this, you could absolutely cook your oats first and then add them in so that when it blends, it will be a little bit more blended together. So we've got our oats, our yogurt, Our banana, we're gonna add a little bit of water, and you can adjust this to taste. So I've got like a 1/4 cup added in there right now. That will help it to blend up. And then we're gonna add 2 handfuls of spinach. Okay, this can be big or little handfuls, depends on your preference. But spinach will give you a little bit of extra vegetables. We're also getting some good vitamins and minerals here that will kickstart our day. And it actually makes our smoothie look green. So if you have kids, you're trying to get them to eat this, tell them it's a Hulk smoothie and it'll make them strong. Maybe that'll work. So we'll throw this on. We are gonna blend it up. Oh, I forgot my ice cubes. Because my fruit was not, my banana was not super frozen, you may want to add a bit of ice cubes. I typically like to just use frozen fruit and skip the ice cubes. I feel like ice starts to make your smoothie just watery, watered down, not have as much flavor. So personally, I love frozen fruit. You could definitely do other frozen fruit that you want to add into this, but we are gonna be adding stuff on top. Since this is a smoothie bowl, we're gonna be adding other things on top of our bowl. So my frozen fruit is gonna go on top of my bowl. But you could definitely blend some of that in here as well if you wanted to do that. So what we're gonna do, we will take a quick break and I'll blend this up during our break and we will see you guys back in just a second to finish this up. Hey guys, welcome back. So we have our smoothie all blended up. You can see how pretty green it is. I did add a few peaches to it because I had frozen peaches and some frozen mango and frozen raspberries, things like that in the freezer. This is a very flexible smoothie, so I tasted it and I felt like it just needed something a little bit different. My banana wasn't as ripe as I would have liked. That will help it to be extra sweet. So I added a few frozen peaches. Peaches or mangoes, things like that are not gonna affect the color of your smoothie. When you start adding those dark berries, blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, things that are gonna be a little bit darker in color, it'll make this look a little funky. Okay, it might be a little brown, could be a little purple. When you start adding spinach to it, it will just affect the color. So if you want a true Hulk, I would stick to more of like pineapples or mango, peaches, things that are lighter. Yellows and orange frozen fruits, and then you can top with your darker berries. So we are just gonna, I'm probably not gonna do all of this because since I added ice, I thickened it up a little bit more. But we'll just do about that much and save that drink for later. And now we're gonna do our toppings. So you can put whatever you want to top. We are gonna add a few frozen berries, like I mentioned. So I just have a berry medley. Again, this is anything that you enjoy. You could kind of throw on top of your smoothie here. But the great thing about a smoothie bowl is you get the feel of food because it feels good to chew, to actually be mechanically chewing sometimes. And so you feel like you're eating more, you're getting more of that feel, that food feel, instead of just drinking a smoothie. Like I said, smoothies are great if you want to just do the smoothie, by all means, but this will help to let it taste a little bit different. These are coconut flakes, so we're just making it look pretty now. Adding some flexibility to it, sprucing it up a little bit. I've got some dried cranberries. We'll throw a few of those on there. Not going to do a whole lot of those. And then I've got some almonds. You could do any nuts. Granola also would be great. Your nuts are gonna help to give you some healthy fats in there. And that will help you to feel satisfied. So when we're talking about a full meal and really around getting all of those different components into our meal, your carbs, your protein, and your fats. If you can get a meal that has all three of those mixed together, it will help you to feel satisfied, help you to feel like, you know, you're not still hungry later. Give your body all the nutrients you need. These are just some chia seeds. To me, they don't really add a ton of flavor to them, but they do provide some more healthy fats and your omegas. Same thing goes for our flaxseed. I have had both of these in my pantry for a while. It's a little pricey to purchase these from the get-go, but honestly, they last a very, very good while. You only need about a teaspoon or a tablespoon, somewhere in between there, depending on what you're adding. I do these a lot to some of my son's food because your chia seeds, flax seeds, hemp seeds, any of those help to add some good fats to it, to any meal that is actually really great for brain health. So as he's growing, I want him to be really smart. So we're gonna give him some of those. But it looks delicious. So then you just eat it with a spoon. You've got your smoothie. If you're somebody that's on the go, like I said, you could just put it all in your blender, blend it up, and just drink it that way. So we're gonna scoot on over to our lunch meal. You can see my array of all the things that we have used today. But we are gonna transition over here to our sub in a tub. This is very easy, quick, easy, something you could prep ahead of time, something you could make really quick if you're somebody at work. Maybe like me, I have a full kitchen that I can use, but I don't necessarily wanna be spending my whole lunch hour cooking something. You can make your own sub in a tub. Now I am using this fancy gadget. Don't have to use this. You can absolutely use a just a regular knife and cutting board. And honestly, with this, we've already got this kind of broken up. We're just gonna use our knife and cutting board for this part, and then we'll do the rest of it in our tub. So what I'm doing here is we're just gonna basically make a sub. All the components you would have in a sub, minus the bread, and we're gonna make like a big salad. I have seen this recipe floating around social media, and it looked delicious. And I haven't tried it yet, but one of my best friends did make it, and she said it was so, so good. So we're gonna throw it together real quick. And this will be a nice, healthy, quick lunch. Also something you could definitely make a good bit of it ahead of time too. So it's all kind of up to you how much salad you want, how much lettuce you want, how much of the other ingredients. It's very flexible in what you put in it. So we will finish this up. I'm just gonna keep chopping up my lettuce, and we'll see you guys back in just 1 second to work on the rest of it.
Sampson Community College, career training that puts you to work. Our Academy of Continuing Excellence provides work training for adults with learning disabilities ages 18 and older. We assist students with intellectual challenges in reading, writing, math, and vocational skills. Our goal is to help make a smooth transition into secondary education or employment opportunities. Applicants to this program must be interviewed and pass an entrance exam to be considered. Sampson Community College. Begin here, go anywhere.
Hey guys, welcome back. So we've got our lettuce all chopped up. Looks good. If you had the big leaves of lettuce, I think you could totally put those in here as well. This is a little gadget. I think I got it for Christmas or my birthday one year. And it has been a game changer for prepping foods. So makes things really easy. You just lay it in. You've got different attachments here as well, depending on what size you want things cut. But I use this a lot for my roasted vegetables, and that way they're all uniform in size. They will roast very nicely in the oven, and you know, just easier than me having to chop everything up. Some people are gadget folks, some aren't. So I like to offer some gadget options. If you don't have a gadget like this, or you don't want a gadget like this, you could definitely just use your knife and chop things up that way. So there is our tomatoes. Next up, we will add, there we go, our meats. So like I said, sub in a tub, whatever you would want on your sub. Think about those vegetables you would add to that, what meat you would choose. I am doing turkey and ham today, but you could absolutely do any meats that you like. But this makes for a quick and easy lunch. So if you are looking for something that will be fast, it will have those vegetables in there. It will have your protein. Will really just give you everything that you need for a lunch that will sustain you throughout the rest of your day. This is a great one for that. So when we're talking about diets, we've had so much going on, it's been hard to talk about both. But when we're talking about diets in general, there's a few things that we want to look for. So one, if you're looking at a diet and you're trying to decide, is this a healthy option for me? Make sure that it doesn't exclude certain food groups. There is a reason why we have different food groups. They all play a role in our body. Some people will do a diet that completely excludes carbohydrates, or will be full protein, very, very, very low carb. That's not necessarily going to be something that you can do long term that will sustain you. The other things that are important for it not to exclude are things like your berries, your fruits, vegetables. All of those also play a role. We added our berries to our breakfast bowl this morning. Your berries are going to give you a lot of antioxidants, and they are definitely something that help to fuel our body, give our body the nutrients that it needs. And if you have a diet that's completely cutting those out, probably not the healthiest diet for you. So that is another one. Fats, healthy fats are another great component of the diet. I talked about the chia seeds and the flax seeds and how they're important for brain health. If I excluded those from my son's diet, not that there aren't other things that could definitely still benefit your brain health, but it absolutely is a big one that I want to make sure he's getting plenty of that in his diet as well, because it's good for him. So we want to make sure that when we're looking at all of these different diets that are on the market, we're choosing things that are going to be good for us, going to fuel our body, and are not going to exclude some of these things that are super important for us to consume. And we are all about something that also is sustainable, so something that will help to be with you for a long time, really something that can be a lifestyle change. So when you think about different diets and you're thinking about, is this something I could do forever? Maybe you're just like, oh, I just want to lose a few pounds. You lose the weight and it will come back when you start eating like you previously did again. So if you're really looking for a good diet that is going to be something that will give you long-term results, you want to make sure that it's robust. It includes all of those good, healthy foods for your body, and it's not going to be exclusive and not going to be something that isn't something that you can continue to do for the rest of your life, pretty much. Okay, last couple things. We're just going to make our dressing now. So I have an olive oil mayonnaise. Ooh, well, I had an olive oil mayonnaise. Let me get another tablespoon real quick. Here we go. Had one in our strainer. So we're just doing 2 tablespoons of this. Kind of messy. I like the olive oil mayonnaise because when we're talking about fats, this is going to be our healthy fats versus our more saturated fats. Those are what we're more concerned about in terms of our general health. So 2 tablespoons of that. Anytime I'm making a dressing, I love to just throw it all in a mason jar and shake it. So if you see there's stuff on the side, it'll come off when we start to shake it all up. All right, we're doing some red wine vinegar. Most dressings use a vinegar and then a fat source. So our fat source here is mayonnaise. You could do olive oil instead, but you have your acid and your fat that you mix together. And then we're gonna add a little bit of our mustard. We're doing Dijon. You could definitely do, I'm just gonna squirt this one in there. You could definitely do regular mustard if that's what you prefer. To me, Dijon has a really good flavor. And then we're doing our seasoning. So we're just doing a little bit of oregano, salt, and pepper. So think about in a sub, you normally have your mayonnaise spread on your bread. Then you have your seasonings. Sometimes they'll sprinkle those on top, and then you might add a little bit of salt and pepper. We're doing that exact same thing for our dressing. So shake it up, and I'm gonna pour it on our salad, show you guys the finished product right after we take this break.
Providing fewer commutes, more backyard offices, and crystal clear meetings. Providing less, you froze up, and more presence in your presentations. Providing a better internet experience. Providing possible.
Hey guys, welcome back. So we have our sub in a tub already made, and I did add some cheese. I forgot the cheese part. I just did cheddar cheese. Again, anything you put on your sub, provolone, whatever you like. And then we have our dressing here. So I'm just gonna pour this over. I mean, this is a pretty good size lunch right here. So this would be, you know, one serving. You could, of course, do more or less depending on your preference. Maybe you don't want quite as much lettuce, or you want more lettuce or whatever. Very flexible in terms of what you can put all in your sub in a tub. But the best part of this is that dressing. So you're kind of making that dressing that truly tastes like you are eating, you're kind of eating a sub. So our benefit here compared to if you were eating an actual sub is that you're getting lots more veggies in. When we typically have a sub, we don't have nearly as many vegetables. It's mainly just meats, cheese. You might add a little bit of those vegetables if you are going somewhere. A lot of times I try to get all the veggies in mine where they can barely even close it. But even still, you've got a lot more bread and still less vegetables. So adding more vegetables to your diet is a great way to kind of kickstart your healthy eating journey, and making this kind of the focus of our meal. Maybe you add croutons on top of this, or toast some bread and put that on top so that you're still getting some of that in there. We are already getting our carbohydrates from your tomatoes, your lettuce, versus that's typically what we would eat our bread for. Bread is still can absolutely be part of a healthy diet. I do not believe in restricting, completely cutting out certain foods. So just want to mention that as well. But we want to up those vegetables. We want to make that the basis of our meal. So there is our lunch. We now have had breakfast and our lunch made. Last thing is going to be our dinner. So again, another thing that when we're trying to think of a quick, easy dinner meal, this one is a great one. It is another one from the Cooking Essentials program. And I went ahead and did the first part because it does need to boil all together for 6 minutes. And that's about how long we have before we're done with our show. So I went ahead and did this ahead of time. You just do your chicken broth, some water. We did cannellini beans, which are those white beans. You could absolutely do a different bean if you'd like. Quartered artichoke hearts and a little bit of crushed red pepper flakes. You can use any pasta you like. I did this whole wheat spaghetti pasta. This is what we had in our pantry here at the extension office, so that's what I used. You put all that in your pot in a lemon. You're gonna zest that lemon and use the entire lemon, juice the entire lemon. And you put that all in your pot and let it come to a boil and boil it for 6 minutes. And then you will do your kale. So we have, it says 1 bunch of kale. I know that we'll use quite all of this, but it does tend to cook down a good bit. So with kale, you've got that hard stem, and your hard stem does not cook down as well. So we want to peel away from that. This is what will take you probably the most amount of time for this dinner prep, is kind of roughly chopping up our kale. Another tip for you, you could absolutely buy the kale that is in a bag that is already chopped. So we're just gonna do a little bit of this, because this was a big bunch. But again, it's gonna cook down a lot, and we want vegetables to be a big part of our meal. So we wanna make sure that we've got some good veggies in there. Your beans are kind of a twofer. They count as a vegetable, but they also count for protein, and they give you lots of fiber. So beans are absolutely a great thing to add to your diet if you are just looking for one food to try to eat more of. Start adding some more beans to what you eat. Yesterday for lunch, I had some salmon. We had made salmon for dinner. We had a little bit of carrots the night before for dinner. Didn't have enough of any of it really for a true meal. I had a little bit of rice too. So I took all of that and I added in some beans to it, and it was a very hearty, delicious, I put a little olive oil on top of that, very hearty, delicious lunch that I made, and it took me no time to just heat up a can of beans and throw it in there. So that's a great tip for you if you were looking to kind of focus on your health. All right, so we are gonna just cook this down, and a lot of my water has cooked out, so you could add a little bit more here if you needed to, but basically I'm just gonna try to kind of heat it up. And then the other thing we are gonna add is some shrimp. So we already have some peeled, deveined shrimp. Just gonna throw these into the side over here. I'll put a little bit of that water in there as well. And shrimp only takes like 2 to 4 minutes. Once you start seeing that it's pink, it is pretty much cooked through, so it doesn't take long at all. And then you have your meal ready. So what takes the longest of this is peeling the shrimp. You can buy that already peeled. You could even buy that already cooked, throw that on top. And then also we're gonna add a little bit of feta cheese. You could do feta, you could do lemon slices, you could do some onions, some chives on top. That would be delicious. So we will show you this when it is all done, but these are 3 quick, easy meals that you could make to start living a healthier new year. And if you have any questions when you come across this stuff, we'll shoot my email underneath here. You can always email me. We'll have some classes coming up in February that you can absolutely be a part of if you want to dive deeper into this. I barely scratched the surface today. I really didn't even get to dive into it as deeply as I wanted to. So join some of our workshops. You'll get to learn all about healthy eating and healthy living. And we will see you guys next time on At the Table.